Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Jayson Tatum becomes Duke's 8th NBA champion. Jayson Tatum became the 8th former Duke Blue Devil to win an NBA championship title on Monday night, as the Boston Celtics defeated the Dallas Mavericks 106-88 for a 4-1 series victory in the 2024 NBA Finals. Tatum averaged 22.2 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 7.2 assists per contest in the NBA Finals, including 31 points, 11 assists, and 8 boards in the series-clinching Game 5. Monday's performance marked Tatum's third double-double of the finals, having posted 16 points and 11 rebounds in Game 1 and 18 points and 12 helpers in Game 2. In 19 playoffs games this season, the five-time NBA All-Star averaged 25.0 points, 9.7 boards, and 6.3 assists per outing. 8 Blue Devils have now captured 10 NBA championship titles. Prior to Tatum, the last Duke representative to win the final game of the playoffs was Jack White with the Denver Nuggets a year ago. White was preceded by Quinn Cook, Los Angeles Lakers in 2023 and Golden State Warriors in 2018, Kyrie Irving and Dante Jones, Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016, Shane Battier, Miami Heat in 2013 and 2012, Danny Ferry, San Antonio Spurs in 2003, and Jeff Mullins, Golden State Warriors in 1975. Also celebrating the NBA title with the Tatum is 2015 Blue Devils national champion and former Duke men's basketball assistant coach Amile Jefferson, who was on the Celtics coaching staff, and Duke alumnus Stephen Pagliuca, co-owner of the Celtics. On the other side, Duke was also represented in the NBA Finals by the Western Conference champion Dallas Mavericks, featuring 8-time NBA All-Star Kyrie Irving and NBA All-Rookie Team selection Derek Lively too. During the Mavericks' playoff run, Irving averaged 22.1 points, 5.1 assists, and 3.7 rebounds per game, while Lively contributed 7.9 points and 7.4 boards per outing. Lively became the first rookie since Magic Johnson in 1980 to achieve consecutive double-doubles in the NBA Finals with 11 points and 13 rebounds in Game 3 and 11 points and 12 caroms in Game 4. The 20-year-old also became the youngest player in Finals history to make a 3-point field goal, nailing his first career triple in the Mavericks' Game 4 triumph. 10 years ago, the Spurs smashed the Heat to win Game 4 of the Finals. Some considered the Spurs' win over the Heat in Game 1 of the 2014 Finals to be a fluke because of the broken air conditioning, leading to temperatures over 90 degrees and LeBron James cramping up and out with 4 minutes left in a close game. In Game 2, the defending champs won, tying the series up at 1-1. Some considered the Spurs' win in Game 3 a fluke because teams just don't shoot 78% for an entire half, as the Spurs did. The Heat were favored by 5 points in Game 4. Vegas was wrong. Very wrong. Game 4 happened 10 years ago today and disposed of any fluke arguments. Instead, Game 4 demonstrated that the 2014 Spurs were one of the best teams ever. This time, the Spurs dominated the Heat defensively, holding Miami to under 60 points over the first 3 quarters, leading 81-57. The final score was by another big margin, 107-86, even more than the 19-point win in Game 3. Instead of splitting the 2 games in Miami, the Spurs broke the Heat. Listen to LeBron at the 5:10 mark of these highlights, "They smashed us." These were my thoughts from the day after the game. When I was growing up, there were only 3 channels. In the summer, if you wanted to watch TV, you watched reruns. And not reruns of great shows like Hill Street Blues, West Wing, Cheers, or The Sopranos. Reruns of Gilligan's Island. We didn't know any better. Last night, I felt like I was watching a rerun of Game 3. A 20-point halftime lead. The Spurs consistently getting, and taking, good shots. A very underrated skill, not taking bad shots. Miami looking a step slow. Daddy, why are they letting that one team beat the other team so badly? Isn't there a mercy rule in basketball? So Game 4 did look like a rerun of Game 3. I almost called this fake blog Game 3-4. But there were differences in the two games. Most obviously, the Spurs shooting. In Game 3, the Spurs' third miss was halfway through the second quarter. They started 19 for 21. In Game 4, the Spurs missed their first 3 shots. More importantly, though, was the total absence of drama for much of Game 4. In Game 3, the Spurs' first half was thrilling to watch. And for much of the game, I was chanting "Go clock go." It always felt that the Heat were about to make a run. Hell, they cut it to 7 in the third quarter and the Spurs were hanging on for dear life, with an energized crowd urging them on. I used the word nerve-wracking to describe the last 2.5 quarters of Game 3. Game 4, no such fear. There was never a point where the Heat appeared to have the will, the energy, the spirit, the desire, or the talent to seriously challenge the Spurs. The Heat had one little run to cut the lead to 13 in the third. But Pop took a timeout. The Spurs scored on the play designed in the huddle, a pass from Boris Diaw. Of course, to Duncan. The Heat missed a couple of shots, the Spurs scored a couple times in a row. For youth-inspired Heat trades that signal end of Jimmy Butler era. Miami Heat fans are forever indebted to Jimmy Butler. The franchise was in utter turmoil before Butler signed in the summer of 2019. The Heat hadn't made the final since 2014 at that point and missed the playoffs entirely 3 times from 2015 to 2019. Contrary to what some Philadelphia 76ers media felt, Butler delivered on his promise to go to Miami to win basketball games. In his inaugural Heat season, Butler led the Heat to the finals. We saw him go blow for blow with arguably the greatest player of all time, LeBron James, down in Orlando. Who could forget Butler's 56-point maestro performance against Jrue Holiday and the Bucks in 2023? Butler was superhuman in that one, lighting up one of the best perimeter defenders in the league and letting him know about it. He led the Heat on an improbable run to the finals that year as the 8th seed. The Jimmy Butler Heat era has been filled with euphoric highs, but it may be coming to a joyless end. Butler wants an extension from Miami right now, but the Heat may be reluctant to give him one at this moment. If the Heat didn't pay Dwayne Wade what he wanted in 2017, Butler might not get his asking number, either. Some may call this doubling down on your mistakes, but that's the Heat way. They prioritize winning over relationships. If the Heat doesn't offer Butler his extension, they should go young and rebuild with these potential trades. Draft capital is valuable in today's NBA landscape. The Phoenix Suns acquired Kevin Durant using 4 first-round draft picks, a pick swap, and talented young core members, Mikal Bridges and Cameron Johnson. That trade hasn't worked for the Suns, but they never had the infrastructure the Heat have. The Heat could flip these draft picks from the 76ers paired with some of their own young talents for a big-time difference-maker to link up with Bam Adebayo. Paul Reed is an afterthought in this trade, but he'd flourish in Miami as an energy guy. When he gets minutes, he's a board magnet. According to Cleaning the Glass, his 11.8 offensive rebound percentage ranked in the 88th percentile. He's on a short-term deal. He would be a much better version of Dwayne Dedmon for the Heat. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.